altogether. I think you just get rid of those and you keep teams. You got one playing 12, two playing 11. You run it that way. The other thing that I have an issue with is the group of 5 champion should automatically be the number 5 seed. I don't think, and maybe I'm a little biased because I'm a guy that, has grown up cheering for a Power 4 team my whole life, or now Power 4 used to be Power 5, but I think that the group of 5 champion, because originally when they announced it, the group of 5 champion was the number 5 seed. And then people decided that Boise should be a higher seed. So I think you keep the top 4 teams as the Power 4 conference champions, and then you make the group of 5 champion the 5 seed, or you run it like the NCAA tournament and give every conference champion an automatic bid, and then you have like 2 wildcard teams. I think there's a lot that needs to be changed, but I think the first thing that they need to change is get rid of the first round bye thing. To the NAU, you see a lot of those guys that are the D2 guys that could play at the D1 level, but they go D2 because maybe it's A, closer to home, or B, cheaper, and then they get that opportunity to show out a little bit at the college level and then make that transfer move to the FCS D1, or even we've seen a couple times the FBS level too. I think that's another thing NAU does really well is recruit.
But the thing with Montana and Montana State is they bring their fans.
That's true.
They've got some committed fans out
they travel well, especially up there. Granted, in Montana, there's not a lot else to do. It's kind of like Nebraska. Yeah. Nebraska has 100,000 fans at every home game because what else are you going to do in Lincoln, Nebraska? Go look at cornfields? You're not going to do anything else other than go watch a football game on a Saturday.
If you didn't know, Jace is a Colorado fan, and he will always put down Nebraska whenever he gets the opportunity to.
I get the chance. I saw the door open. I'm sorry.
Form of NIL fund, any collective that's trying to get something together. Obviously, Highlands might be a little less than NAU if there's anything going on, but just curious on what that take and what that looks like at the smaller school level. Is it like, hey, we got 50 grand, let's spread it amongst 50 people?
Jace, you look like you got a better answer than I do. So
He's trying to hold it.
I'm trying. I mean, so obviously, before I got into the whole sports media world, I was an athlete myself, and I had a YouTube channel, still do, that whole 9 yards, right? When I all of a sudden was contacted by Barstool Sports to become a Barstool athlete, I went into our athletic director at the time's office and was like, hey, how does this affect my scholarship? And he looked at me and said, what is NIL? And I'm kind of like, yo, this has been here for a year, my guy. Like, this has been here for a minute. Like, what do you mean? What is, like, aren't you the athletic director? Like, you should know this stuff. Some schools, now obviously being in the media world, being in sports information, I talk to a lot of other people at other schools. It really just depends. It depends on where you're located. The Texas schools, they have it because of the oil and gas. I feel like they capitalize off of that a ton, right? I feel like some schools down south, they capitalize off of, once again, the oil and gas industry a ton.
With it,
there's only one thing I see that's a problem with that, and that is players that commit for the coach. You saw it a lot. I think the number one example you see with that is the one that I think of immediately is Lincoln Riley. When Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma for the USC job, what did a lot of his Oklahoma guys do? They transferred to USC. Caleb Williams is one of those names that transferred to USC because of Lincoln Riley.
From Portales, Jace, you and I have been out. We've seen practice.
Yeah, this is one of the bigger teams that I've seen. I've been here for 4 years at New Mexico Highlands, and this is definitely, just being out on the practice field, this is definitely one of the bigger teams I've seen. Our entire offensive line is seniors, too. So that veteran presence that you look for. We have one redshirt junior that'll be starting, but lot of size for this football team.
Man, and
Tavita Valetti, I mean, he had a phenomenal year last year carrying the rock for the Cowboys, and the quarterback position was kind of a question coming into this year. They get a transfer from Grand Valley State. Ike Udengwu, I think is how you say his last name. And, and you talked about the tight ends. I mean, you have Noah Armijo, and then Rowdy Beers, Florida International, New Mexico State transfers. And you see that the skill position has picked up even more. And then on the defensive side of the ball, that's going to be a question tonight, is if can the Cowboys keep Eastern New Mexico's offense off the field? You see a lot of new names on that defensive side of the ball. Austin Turnbow, true freshman coming in after spending a couple years on a mission. He's 20, but he's still a freshman on the field. He's coming in to kind of be the leader of that defense. Ben Watson's another name that you probably hear a lot of. Chris Taufusau, obviously. He's the captain of that defense. That was announced today. And, I'm excited to see what the defense brings just as much as I'm excited to see what the offense is going to look like this year.
And I think we'll know right away.
Well, and then RMAC Media Day, Coach Taufusau really talked about how important these New Mexico games are. And he really wants to establish being able to recruit these New Mexico kids. So by playing these New Mexico games and being like, hey, look, we get the New Mexico kids, and then we beat the teams in the same state as us.
Pivoting over to volleyball, they played.
We got to keep that energy, the students, the fans, the community. You got to keep coming out to this stuff. This is a fun team to watch. This is the most excited I've been about New Mexico Highlands athletics in the 4 years I've been here. I've been saying that around campus. It's very exciting. The offense looked really good. The way they were running, they're deep. There's a lot of depth on this team, more depth than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then obviously you get new players in that are really impressive. One of those players, she was a part of the program last year, Ariana Jamerson. She's able to play this year. She can jump out the building. And then you got the returners, the local girl, Jaylee Gonzalez. Obviously, she can jump out of the building, led the Cowgirls last year, and then obviously a fourth-year starter in Abby Carlson from Albuquerque, New Mexico, too, that really, this is a fun team to be excited about.